Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Mariam Classic Essential Plus, and I am Mariam Uzodinma. I am a soap maker from Nigeria, and I make natural handmade soaps, natural handmade products like body butters, hair butters, body oils. I make mainly natural handmade. I also have another line of business which is still under this one, and it deals with mainly home essentials, which includes multi-purpose liquid, dishwash, bleach, antiseptic liquids, laundry bar soaps, toilet soaps, and others. That is the surfactant base side of my products. Thank you. Please watch, like, share and subscribe to my channel for your natural handmade products. Thank you. Here you see me weighing out my red palm oil. Red palm oil, also known in the lye recipe calculator, is seen as red palm butter. Okay, but down here in Nigeria, it is red palm oil. Now, red palm oil has so many healthy benefits for your skin and even your hair. Red palm oil is said to be the best source of carotenoids They give your skin and hair broad spectrum coverage and protection from UV radiation. It also has deep moisturizing. It also gives the skin deep moisturizing and makes it soft and supple. Red palm oil also contains coenzyme Q10, a natural antioxidant in every human body cell that declines with age. So what the coenzyme does is that the red palm oil does is that it can help to replenish it for you. It also includes the enhancing moisture retaining properties and supplying nourishing antioxidants such as vitamin E, carotenes, and more. So red palm oil is a very, very good source of all this and much more. So here I am using it as color to improve the orangey color or the yellow coloring, but mostly as an addition of all these beautiful beneficial properties that I've just mentioned. Now here is tallow. This is rendered beef fat or processed beef fat that has been processed from fresh beef fat into what we know as tallow. Now tallow normally comes out after being processed in the color of white or creamy color, but here you see the color looking beige. The reason is because I infused limes and fresh limes and fresh ginger into this one. I was trying to use it to naturally deodorize it, like to reduce the smell of this particular tallow so that it doesn't smell that bad. But this particular container, I use it when I want to, for culinary, like when I want to cook something. So but I just needed to use that particular one, and this one in this bucket now, this is another tallow. This one I infused with avocados and cucumbers. So I have different tallows that I infuse with different things like that. So I normally use them as my tallow salve or tallow balm for my baby boy and my two last babies, my mini 4 and mini 5. I use it for both of them for their skincare leave-on products. Okay, so here I'm weighing out my tallow. Tallow is another very wonderful additive to the soap. It is rendered beef fat, and the fat is actually gotten from the fats around the organs, not the fat that is on the meat. I take the fats from the organ area, especially the one that is around the kidneys. Now, this beef fat should be gotten from grass-fed cows. Now, down in this country, we don't have a lot of ranches, so most of our cows, if not all of them, but most of them are actually certified almost 100% grass-fed cows. So while you're buying yours, you don't need to even ask much questions whether is it grass-fed or not, because they are not taken from the ranches. They are taken from normal. We have herders that go around with them, and they are fed with mainly green material, which is the green plants, okay, which is the grass-fed cows. Now, I normally buy the beef fat that is around the kidney area, and that particular beef fat is what I render into my tallow. I render my tallow myself. It's actually messy work, but I do it myself. Okay, so here what I'm practically doing, I am trying to weigh my shea butter. I've actually weighed it, but I'm trying to, it's a little bit more than expected, so I'm reducing the size to be sure that I have the original weight, because you do not want to, you don't want to go over the parts, you don't want to go over your measurements for fats and oils and butters, else you may have to redo your calculation all over again. And here I am preparing for me to make my lye solution with carrot juice. I have to wear gloves for this. It's very important you wear gloves for this, because it is not a phase where you have to do without wearing gloves. Now this is my carrot juice. I have frozen it. It was in a bottle, so I had to cut out the bottle and plastic bottle. I had to cut out the plastic bottle and put it in a bowl, about to weigh it. So these are frozen, fresh 100% carrot juice. There was no water that was added in this, so it is just 100% carrot juice. Now I am weighing it. I'm supposed to weigh, I'm using it as my water replacement. I hardly use water in most of my soaps. In fact, all of my soaps, I either use rice water, or if I'm making a particular soap, like if I'm making cucumber soap, I use the cucumber juice. Carrot soap, I use the carrot juice, and all that. So here I'm using 1000 grams out of 1710 grams of water. So this is total water replacement. Now I am going to complete some parts of that. I'm going to complete the balance with carrot puree. So this soap is actually going to be a very rich soap. When I mean very rich, I mean so rich. It's going to be a very rich soap, because there is no water at all in it. What is in it is just carrot juice and carrot puree that I'm using to make it. I'm weighing out my lye now, and I am going to add them in portions to my carrot juice. Then my lye solution should be ready. One of the tips and tricks of using iced or frozen juice is that you can easily add lye directly on it, but you must add them in portions. Now, using frozen juices helps for you to be able to not completely kill or damage the nutrients that are in that particular solution. So now, with the addition of the lye, which lye naturally, once it comes in contact with moisture or water, it tends to give off heat. Now, because of the ice that is in the juice, or the ice that is in the water, or in the liquid, whatever liquid, it helps to still keep the heat of the lye within range. It doesn't allow it to like be overheated. So you have to add them in portions just like this that you're seeing on the screen, so that it doesn't completely or doesn't really damage or destroy the beneficial nutrients that are supposed to still remain in the carrot juice or whatever fruit juice that you are using, especially in milks. Okay, milk is one of the things that you don't even have to take chances. You must have to freeze the milk before you add lye to it. And the way milk, the solution is being made with lye, is quite different. You have to even put your container, this container that I'm using now, you put it in an ice bath. You put it in a bowl where it's surrounded by ice or very chilled water with ice flakes inside, and you pour your lye in tinier portions than I'm doing right now, so that you will not burn the milk or completely destroy whatever beneficial properties that milk is supposed to give into the soap. So here I am almost done. I I was supposed to make this soap that particular day. I did not make it. I had to let this to cool off, because at the end of it here now, I noticed that the liquid, this particular solution, was a bit hot. Even with all the ice and all that, it was still hot. Someone asked me if there are still beneficial properties from this solution to the soap. I believe that there are still beneficial properties. Okay, I still believe that it may not be complete 100% total, but I believe that there were beneficial properties. That's why there are different ways of making soap. You can decide not to use your carrot juice as your solution or your water replacement for the lye. You can still decide to add your carrot juice into the soap. Okay, but if you don't know how to manage certain things when you do that, you may not come out with a very good or smooth soap. You may end up with a seized batch, especially when you don't understand the selection of your choice of oils. So here is later that same night, I had to come back down to the kitchen and start preparing my carrots for carrot puree. So this is me trying to clean the carrots and sheave them to make carrot puree. If you look at the video very well, you will notice that it is not all of the carrots I used. Why? Because I noticed that some of them were getting bad. Now, because this is just soap, you don't just dump anything into your soap. You treat your soap like a food you want to eat, because it is actually food for your skin. So you don't just use a carrot that is getting bad and you blend it and you put into your soap. It will not work. What you do is, you just like you want to cook a meal, any carrot that is getting bad, you don't add it to your soap. You throw them away, and you use only the good ones. You wash them, you cut them, you parboil them, and you make it into a puree. That's actually what I am doing here. And I've put it into my small stainless pot, and I'm going to go and boil this and convert it into a puree, which I'm going to add into my soap. So these and many more are the things that one does when you're making natural. When you say 100% natural handmade soap, you will see yourself that is 100% natural handmade. Okay, there are no tricks to it, there are no other additives to it. You see that everything that you're adding is 100% natural. There are no other chemical additives or fillers or hardeners to it. You allow your soap to harden and to naturally cure properly. Cure the natural way by air drying it and the water evaporating, and for the lye to saponify on its own. You do not add any other thing to it. So soaps like this are highly beneficial for the skin, but of course, because they are natural handmade, they take a lot of time, they take a lot of patience to make. So of course they are not going to be as ordinary or as cheap as the normal soap, but of course they are affordable. Of course they are quite affordable. Okay, so here I am blending in my boiled carrots with the water, because the water that I use to blend the carrots still has a lot of beneficial carotene properties in that water. So you don't throw the water away, you mix the water and you blend it with the carrot. Here I used my chopper, my hand blender chopper, but it didn't really do a good job of smoothing it out. I had to put it in this stainless bowl and I had to start smoothing it out. I had to add some oils from my already measured oils into the bowl to mix the puree with it. So the hand blender did a good job of helping me to smoothing it out a bit, not completely, but smoothing it out to a reasonable extent. So I got very good consistency here, but I had to stop because I noticed that with each blending, I was whipping in air into the puree. So that is not too good, especially since you're going to add it to soap. So here I am using a double boiler method to melt the tallow and shea butter. Now we are getting ready for the soap making proper. Here I'm gearing up for the soap making process proper, and I'm wearing my gloves. Yes, my gloves have seen we. When we say we, it has seen things, like it has been saving lives since 1979. Okay, and of course your goggles, very important, very, very important. When I say this is important, I mean it like 2000%. I have had lye get into my eyes like twice, and I've been so fortunate to wash it off. I had to dip my face in a bucket of water for like some minutes. It can hurt like crazy. So please, whenever you want to do this, you're going into this, there are very important steps you must follow. You must have this protective gears. You must have your gloves. You must have your glasses on. In some cases, you must have your nose masks on. Now, I've been doing this for some time and I'm used to it, so I don't wear nose masks. I only wear it sometimes when I'm making lye. But my gloves and my glasses, I do not joke with, because of especially the second experience when lye got into my eyes. It was not funny at all, at all. It wasn't funny. Okay, I had to even stop making soap for like 2 weeks because of that, because of the fear of what would have happened to me. So you see, when I poured in the melted tallow and shea butter into the oils that we weighed out from the beginning of the video. So here I am trying to make everything here, and that's my lye solution. That's the carrot juice lye solution. Okay, yes, I'm trying to stir it very well. My camera angle was not very nice. I normally do my camera from above, but I just had to manage this because the timing was wrong. I just really needed to make the soap. This was like past 2 a.m. in the morning, like about 3 a.m. and this soap was way past due. So I'm adding in my lye solution now, carrot juice lye solution. You add it gently, don't just pour it, you gently add it, and you add it through the shaft or the handle of your toner. It helps that way so that it doesn't splash, because even as it's cold state, it can still be corrosive on your skin if it gets to splash on your skin. So here I am stirring to mix and emulsify the lye solution and the oils and butter and fat. I am stirring it together. You can see the color change as the color is changing. This is saponification in progress. Saponification is taking place. This is the process of oils and lye solution coming together to form soap. So here I am going to stick blend a little to mix it properly. I'm stick blending here and I'm doing it on a low setting. The reason is because I do not want my batch, I do not want this batter to go hard and thick on me anytime soon. So you don't agitate, you do not agitate what you're doing right now too much. what you do is that you mix with your hand or with a stick blender, but you do it carefully, okay? But you don't agitate it too much. If you agitate it too much, it will get heated up and it will start thickening, which I don't need right now because I still have my carrot puree to add in. I still have fragrance to add in. Okay, so I am at light to medium trace right now. That is still very good for me. Now I'm about to add, I'm stirring in to mix well, then I'll add in my puree. Now while I need to check for the trace levels is because carrot has it is sweet and it has sugars in it. Anything that has sugars in it triggers and thickens a batter very, very fast. It thickens a batter way fast. If you notice, I was adding a little bit of oil, like 100 grams, into the carrot puree. This will help to loosen up the puree so it will not take effect of thickness on this batch that I'm making. These are some tips and tricks that one learns in soap making as you go. Okay, I have been doing this for 3 years into 4 years, so I have learned some tips and tricks on my own. So now I'm stirring it in. So that 100 gram of oil that I added can serve as also a super fat. Okay, now I have to blend everything in to make sure everything is homogenized, to make sure that every part of the batter gets the carrot puree. Now it's getting thick. If you look at it very well, you will notice. That's why I said my camera angle was bad, for people to see what I am doing. Okay, but it's still clear enough. So now I'm at medium trace. The batter is getting into thick trace now, and I just added in my fragrance. Now this is where the calculation of swiftness starts. You have to be fast, because in some cases you think that the fragrance will not accelerate the batter, but it will. Acceleration means it will make it very thick. So here I am pouring it into my already prepared mold. Now in cases like this, it's not a big problem, it's not a big deal. Why? Because you just have one big slab mold to pour it in. But in a case where you have to pour this into silicone flour cupcake molds, it could be a problem, because before long this particular batter could thicken on you, it could seize on you. Okay, because like right now the sugars are beginning to take effect, and you see that the batter will become hard very soon. So, but since I'm pouring it in a slab mold, I'm so grateful that it was a slab mold I had to pour it into. When I'm making batches like this, I prefer the slab molds. They are like a lifesaver. But using here is still fluid. See where I'm shaking it, you can still see it moving. It's still fluid, but you see before long, you see that by the time I'm trying to like level up the top, it has already hardened. And just count, we're like 30 seconds into the pour now. Okay, so before it gets to like a minute plus, like a minute and a half, it has already hardened. It has set up already. At this point already, it has already set up now. So we are at like a minute after we poured in, and in like 30 seconds time now, the top, you can't be able to like, the top is not as fluid as when I was shaking it just a few moments ago. It wasn't as fluid as that. Is as already, everything has already set up right now. So that's like part of all these tips and tricks are things that I had to learn these things on my own. I did not get any tutorship for this. I did not get any tutorship for soap making. I learned soap making on my own, totally and completely from scratch. I taught myself how to use a light calculator. I taught myself how to read about oils, the selection of oils, how to pick oils for soap, how to calculate their values, how to check for their properties and to know whether the soap is going to be a good one or not. I did all that on my own. It was hard work, but I'm glad that today, because I taught myself and I tried to make sure I did the practical on it, I can say that I could pass as an average soap maker. So now if you look at it now, we're just like 2 minutes into this pour and the whole of the top, the soap has already set as I'm talking to you right now. And it's just like 2 minutes into the pour and the soap has already set. So I'm trying to cover it up. I wanted to completely gel the soap. I wanted to insulate it in order to gel the soap. I forgot here that I had not sprayed the soap with rubbing alcohol. By the time I remembered, I had to open the soap and spray it so that I will not have ashing at the top of the soap. So I covered it up, but when I remembered, I came back, I sprayed it, and I had to insulate it with a very thick cloth, and it gelled completely. And I loved the fact that if not some part of my soap, like inside, it will form a ring inside. You have the inner part gelled and the outer part not gelled if I had left it open. But I like the fact that I allowed it to gel completely. Here you see me spraying the rubbing alcohol, which is IPA, which is isopropyl alcohol. Okay, this helps to minimize, not stop, it minimizes the formation of soda ash on top of your soap. Now, the formation of soda ash is not harmful to your soap at all. It is not. Okay, but it's something that may not make your soap look very nice. So it's good that you just make sure that you minimize the formation of that soda ash atop your soap. So here I'm trying to insulate the soap. I do not have a cover for this my slab, so I just do what I can. And right there beside it, those are my African black soaps, herbal African black soap. So here is basically like 16 hours later, and I am unmolding the soap. Now the reason why that I decided to do this like 8 hours earlier to 24 hours is because I used a good amount of tallow in this soap. This tallow batch size in this soap is like it's a good batch size. So tallow is a natural soap hardener, it's a fat, so it helps to naturally harden your soap. Okay, instead of you adding hardness, so you add something that is both beneficial for the skin and something that will form as part of the soap making, okay, soap making ingredient. So now tallow has made the soap to be hard enough for me to unmold and cut. So I had to do this because if I don't, I may end up not being able to use my soap cutter, my multiple soap cutter, to cut the soap. It will break my string. I'll break either the string, 1 or 2 strings, or even more. So I decided to do this earlier on. And here I'm supposed to be wearing gloves anyway, but don't mind me. You know, sometimes when you do some things over time, you just feel that you've gotten the hang of it. So I have unmolded it. I did not add the footage of hubby helping me to cut it into logs. This is the slab. I did not add that footage. I only put the footage of me cutting them into bars. Okay. The next time I'll make a video like this, I will have to weigh this. By weighing this, one can be able to tell the weight of what each recipe can give you with each particular kind of batch. Okay, so this is my multiple soap cutter. It's one of the best things that a soap maker should have is having that equipment. Now, a multiple soap cutter helps you to cut soap easier. It also helps you to cut soaps quicker, because instead of you cutting soap one after the other, you can cut your soap multiply at once. But the only thing is knowing how to use it. If you don't know how to use a multiple soap cutter, you end up breaking the strings, and the strings are not really easy to come by. I was fortunate enough to unmold that soap the time I did. So cutting this soap was not really hard. If you've watched my video on how I make my herbal black soap the cold process way, you will see that it took me a while to cut just one log. Why? Because the soap stayed up to 22 hours and it had tallow in it. Any soap that has tallow hardens very fast and does not melt fast in the bathrooms either. They are hard bars and they stay longer. Okay, and tallow is very good for your skin. It's a natural treatment on our skin, so it's a very good additive to any natural handmade soap. So this is the cutting of my carrot soap. The soaps came out very nice. The fragrance was very good. As of right now that I'm making and editing this video, the soap is fully cured and it has been packaged. I just have to get the labels together and label them and put them on my shelves. Then it's good to go for sale. Now, these are my soaps. That's the black soap you saw the other time when I was trying to insulate the carrot soap. So this black soap was made with African black soap. So it is 100% natural handmade.